to be on a lot of lists this year is the pickup truck. Why are they so popular? With Lee Cowan, let's go for a drive.
If you think every pickup on the lot is built tough, think again. Beneath the bold grills and shiny chrome lie some of the worst-selling trucks in America, and not without reason. From exploding engines to transmissions that vanish mid-drive, these 15 worst-selling trucks are financial traps in disguise. Buckle up, because some people are still buying them. Number 15, Ford F-250.
Million heavy-duty pickup trucks in the U.S. because the drive shafts can fracture and it can cause a loss of power.
For years, the Ford F-150 stood as an undisputed champion in the world of pickups, praised by both casual drivers and working-class heroes alike. But beneath the roaring success of the F-150 lurks a troubling truth about its supposed upgrades, the F-250 and F-350. Far from building on their predecessor's legacy, these heavy-duty models have emerged as deeply flawed machines with alarming reliability issues and safety risks that can no longer be ignored. At first glance, the F-250 and F-350 seem like powerhouses, built for hard work and heavy loads. But owners quickly discovered the cracks in the armor, literally. Reports of weak suspension systems have dogged these trucks for years. Some users claim the suspension bottoms out under moderate loads, which defeats the very purpose of a heavy-duty truck, and the 2021 model still plagued with similar complaints. It's like Ford just slapped a bigger badge on a broken system, one mechanic stated. Even more concerning are the persistent engine problems, ranging from rough idling to complete engine failure. But the most shocking revelations come from reports of spontaneous vehicle behavior, trucks suddenly accelerating or braking without warning. These aren't just software glitches, these are potential death traps. Lawsuits have emerged and Ford has issued recalls, but the problems persist like a ticking time bomb buried under chrome and horsepower. Digging deeper, critics suggest Ford may have rushed these models to meet market demand without proper testing. It's profit over safety, said a former employee in an anonymous whistleblower post. While Ford touts towing capacity and raw power, the cold truth is this: a truck that can't stay under control is a danger to everyone on the road. The F-250 and F-350 might haul weight, but at what cost? Well, this is not the only truck that has bad reviews. There are still many of them, so keep watching to know them. Number 14, Mercedes-Benz X-Class.
In October of last year, Mercedes-Benz revealed its two prototype trucks, the powerful Adventure and stylish Explorer.
Just 3 years after its flashy debut, the Mercedes-Benz X-Class is quietly slipping into obscurity, but not before leaving behind a trail of disappointed drivers and alarming safety concerns. Marketed as a luxury pickup meant to blur the lines between utility and elegance, the X-Class promised to be the Mercedes of pickups. But customers quickly discovered it was more style than substance, and in some cases, dangerously so. From the outset, skepticism brewed beneath the surface. Critics pointed out that the X-Class was not entirely a true Mercedes creation. It was built on the Nissan Navara platform, raising eyebrows about whether the luxury badge was more of a marketing trick than an engineering feat. "It's just a Navara in a tuxedo," one auto analyst scoffed. Unfortunately, the problems went far beyond badge snobbery. Within weeks of use, many owners began reporting serious defects that couldn't be ignored. One of the most alarming? A failure in the trailer stability function, an issue that impairs driving control and in worst-case scenarios could lead to fatal accidents. Then came the canopy disaster. The roof cover was prone to snapping, leading to heavy loads falling off mid-transit, posing a deadly threat to other motorists. Even more unsettling was the discovery of malfunctioning child safety locks, jeopardizing the safety of the most vulnerable passengers. Beyond safety, practicality was another bitter pill. Owners frequently lamented the painfully small flatbed, useless for anyone relying on the truck for serious hauling. And performance? Let's just say, for a truck wearing a Mercedes badge, its acceleration and engine power felt more like a sluggish compromise than a premium promise. Whether the X-Class was a rushed experiment or a calculated misstep remains up for debate. What's clear is that Mercedes tried to sell prestige in pickup form, and the market wasn't buying it. Number 13, Chevy Silverado. The Chevy Silverado has long been hailed as the all-American pickup, rugged, reliable, and built to conquer any terrain. But behind its chrome grille and patriotic appeal lies a chilling pattern of mechanical failure and explosive danger that many owners only discovered too late. While Chevrolet continues to market the Silverado as a dependable workhorse, mounting evidence suggests that this iconic truck could actually be a four-wheeled fire hazard. The first major red flag appeared on December 16, 2013, when a brand new 2014 Silverado inexplicably burst into flames during a test drive in Gulfport, Mississippi. Witnesses claimed the truck detonated like a bomb, sending fiery debris in all directions. Just 2 weeks later, another Silverado caught fire in Harvey, Louisiana. And it didn't stop there. 6 more exploded before the year ended. Investigators soon pointed fingers at a defective oil transmission line that could rupture under pressure, spraying flammable fluids onto hot surfaces. But that was only part of the nightmare. In New York and Illinois, 6 separate Silverado owners reported their engines spontaneously exploding while driving at highway speeds. The root cause? A data software corruption that caused the exhaust system to overheat, igniting nearby engine components. Plastic valve covers, fuel system connectors, and intake manifolds melted like wax, triggering chain reaction fires that left nothing but scorched metal behind. Even more unsettling is how these incidents were largely downplayed. No sweeping recall, no headlines, no accountability. It's like they wanted to bury the story before it could gain traction, said one frustrated owner. Chevrolet may have built a reputation on grit and endurance, but the Silverado's fiery track record raises a disturbing question. How many more trucks have to ignite before the truth burns its way into the light? Well, if you think you've seen it all, wait till you see what happened in the next truck. Number 12, the Ford Ranger. For decades, the Ford Ranger has haunted America's roads, a nostalgic workhorse that's now stalking its users with deadly flaws. As Ford plans a grand U.S. comeback, the shadow of past safety disasters from the 2005 and 2008 models looms large. Back then, the statistics couldn't be ignored. A staggering 81 driver deaths per million incidents, with 60 of those fatalities occurring in multi-vehicle crashes. But what lurked beneath the numbers was far more sinister. Investigative digging reveals a series of potentially fatal design failures. First, a speed-controlled deactivation switch, intended for safety, instead overheated and caught fire. A recurring threat across models from 1992 to 2004 that triggered massive recalls totaling millions of vehicles. In the Ranger, these burn hazards weren't just isolated incidents. Recalls dragged well into 2007 and beyond, with components either unavailable or dangerously delayed. Next, the fuel system proved equally unreliable. Inertia switches designed to cut fuel in a crash would randomly trip, even at freeway speeds, stranding drivers. More horrifying, these crippled devices degraded into actual fire-starting hazards, with melted wiring and proximity to hot components creating a perfect storm of ignition. Then there were the fuel tank straps, simple metal bands meant to secure the tank. But on the open road, they corroded quickly, letting the tank drop, scrape, rupture, and leak gasoline onto the pavement below. As if that weren't enough, the cruise control unit has a documented history of malfunctioning, sometimes accelerating uncontrollably or igniting under the hood. One recall from 2005 alone involved 3.8 million vehicles tied to cruise control-related fires. The grim reality: the early Rangers were ticking time bombs, prone to sudden stops, impromptu fires, and spontaneous acceleration. As Ford teases its new U.S. Ranger, consumers would do well to ask, has the company truly fixed the broken legacy? Or are we about to roll out another dangerous gamble? Number 11, Ford F-150. For over 4 decades, the Ford F-150 has worn the crown as America's best-selling pickup truck, an icon of strength, durability, and American pride. But beneath its rugged exterior and spacious cabin lies a deadly secret that's been smoldering for years, literally. Despite its reputation, the F-150 has a hidden history of bursting into flames and exploding under circumstances that would terrify even the most seasoned drivers. The first major alarm rang on August 30, 2018, when Ford was forced to recall over 1.6 million F-150s due to a horrifying safety flaw. The culprit? A defective front seat belt pre-tensioner. In a crash, this mechanism would spark, igniting nearby materials like carpeting and insulation inside the B-pillar. It lit up like a furnace, one crash survivor recounted. These fires didn't just destroy trucks, they trapped injured passengers inside flaming wreckage, turning survivable accidents into fiery death traps. But that's not where the story ends. A second manufacturing failure added fuel to the fire, literally. The fuel tank straps, which are supposed to hold the gas tanks securely in place, were found to corrode when exposed to everyday road salt and chemicals. As the straps failed, tanks fell onto the road's surface, scraping and rupturing upon impact. In many cases, gasoline spewed across the asphalt and underneath the vehicle, leading to deadly fires and catastrophic explosions. Despite these serious safety risks, Ford's public response was surprisingly muted. No sweeping headlines, no urgent consumer alerts. Some critics accuse the company of prioritizing brand image over driver safety. It's the kind of negligence you'd expect to read about in a cover-up, not a customer manual, one auto safety advocate noted. The F-150 may be popular, but popularity doesn't equal safety. And in this case, it could come at the cost of your life. Number 10, Honda Ridgeline. In 2006, Honda rolled out the Ridgeline with what seemed like a brilliant formula, bold design, cutting-edge features, and a 3.5 LV6 that fit neatly in its Accord and Odyssey cousins. But beneath that polished exterior lurked a web of mechanical flaws that would turn this so-called car truck into a ticking time bomb for drivers. At first glance, 245 lb-ft of torque, adequate for sedans, but woefully underpowered for a pickup expected to tow or haul. Owners quickly discovered the consequences. Suspension and crossmembers failed, bending and braking under modest workloads. The frame itself began rusting away in salt-prone regions. Honda issued a recall only after corrosion threatened the fuel tank and rear structure. Under the hood, the engine proved even more treacherous. Oil consumption went through the roof, blue smoke puffing out as valve seals and rings wore prematurely. Some drivers saw massive misfires and white smoke, signs of blown gaskets and major internal damage by 75,000 miles. More alarmingly, later generation Ridgelines using the same 3.5L engine are now under NHTSA investigation after reports of connecting rod bearing seizure that could lock up or destroy engines completely. Owners describe erratic failures on the freeway with no warning. Some engines literally seized, nearly causing fires. To add insult to injury, towing revealed the Ridgeline's true weaknesses: transmissions overheating with heavy campers, cruise control and idle stop glitches, and clutching surge brakes, leading Reddit users to crown it a rebadged minivan pretending to tow. The truth? Honda's innovative crossover pickup never fully addressed the grunt work. The torque was insufficient, the build quality shaky, and the mechanical faults mounting. As Honda unveils its newer second-generation model, ask yourself, has the fix been made, or is this still a high-stakes gamble under a stylish hood? Number 9, the Nissan Frontier. At first glance, the Nissan Frontier appeared to be a reliable, no-nonsense mid-size work truck, especially popular among tradespeople and rural drivers who needed utility without frills. And for the most part, it delivered. But in 2008, everything changed. That model year of the Frontier has since earned a dark reputation in automotive circles, not for minor flaws, but for catastrophic, engine-destroying failures that blindsided thousands of unsuspecting owners. The most infamous and quietly devastating issue was a widespread transmission failure. But this wasn't your average mechanical hiccup. What made the 2008 Frontier so dangerous was a chain reaction initiated by a critical design flaw in the radiator itself. The radiator was prone to cracking internally, and when that happened, engine coolant would leak directly into the transmission system. Known as the strawberry milkshake of death among Frontier owners, the mixing of coolant and transmission fluid led to a chemical reaction that began to dissolve the transmission oil, destroying its lubricating properties. The result? Rapid overheating of the gearbox, followed by total transmission failure, often with no warning. One moment the truck was shifting normally, and the next it was grinding, seizing, and lurching to a halt. Worse still, the contamination often spread through the entire drivetrain, leading to engine damage so severe that complete powertrain replacement was sometimes the only solution. It wasn't just the transmission going, it was the whole truck dying from the inside out, one angry owner posted in an online forum. To make matters even more enraging, Nissan was slow to acknowledge the scope of the defect. For years, no formal recall was issued, leaving owners with repair bills exceeding $5,000 or more. Class action lawsuits eventually followed, but for many drivers, the damage, both mechanical and financial, was already done. While other Frontier model years remain dependable, the 2008 Nissan Frontier stands as a textbook case of engineering failure and corporate silence. Its fatal flaw wasn't just mechanical, it was systemic, a design oversight with catastrophic consequences, compounded by delayed accountability. If you see a 2008 Frontier for sale today, you'd better ask one question before signing the papers. Has the radiator ever failed, and if not, is it just a matter of time? Number 8. 2021 Ram Rebel TRX. When the 2021 Ram Rebel TRX thundered onto the scene with a jaw-dropping 702 horsepower and 650 beefed of torque, it was hailed as the ultimate apex predator of pickup trucks, a street-legal monster powered by the iconic supercharged 6.8L Hellcat V8. But behind the smoke and spectacle, a far more volatile reality lurks under the hood, one that has left some owners with more than just engine growl to worry about. At the heart of the problem lies a flawed fuel delivery system, an Achilles heel that puts this $90,000 powerhouse on shaky ground. The TRX uses a fuel-resistant rubber hose, a choice many experts have called outdated and dangerous for a vehicle of this caliber. Over time, this rubber is prone to drying, cracking, and splitting, especially when subjected to the extreme heat generated by the Hellcat engine and its high-performance exhaust system. Making matters worse, the truck's O-ring seals, critical components for maintaining fuel system integrity, have been reported as defective in a number of units. When these seals fail, fuel leakage becomes not just a possibility, but a serious fire hazard. Drivers have reported strong gasoline odors both inside and outside the cabin, as well as visible puddles beneath the truck after driving. In multiple cases, these symptoms have preceded engine compartment fires sparked by leaking fuel making contact with superheated engine components. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has acknowledged the issue with Recall 21V880, which confirms that fuel leakage in the presence of an ignition source increases the risk of fire. But for a performance truck marketed as both rugged and elite, this kind of oversight feels less like a technical glitch and more like a time bomb built into the vehicle's core. You'd expect the TRX to tear up dirt roads, not go up in flames on them. And yet, here we are, a truck engineered for dominance, but threatened by the same kind of fuel line failures you'd expect in a clunker from decades past. However, the TRX may be fast, but when it comes to long-term safety, it might just be racing toward disaster. Number 7. Ford trucks with 5.4-liter V8 engines. Between 2003 and 2010, Ford rolled out a fleet of trucks powered by their much-touted 5.4-liter modular V8 engine with a 3-valve cylinder head marketed as a tough, reliable workhorse. But behind that promise of power lies a ticking mechanical time bomb that many owners didn't see coming until it was too late. This engine, praised for its muscle, hides a fatal flaw that often rears its ugly head just past the 100,000-mile mark when the warranty ends and the nightmare begins. The core of the problem? A notorious part known as the camshaft phaser, a component in the variable valve timing system that controls engine breathing. When it fails, the symptoms aren't subtle. My truck started making a weird clattering sound, and then the idle went rough. It felt like it was falling apart, one owner recalled. The phaser begins to rattle, producing metallic knocking noises that mimic a dying engine. Then comes the power loss, hesitation on acceleration, and sometimes complete drivability failure. What makes this issue even more sinister is its high cost and frequency. In most cases, replacing the phaser isn't enough. Mechanics often have to replace camshafts, valves, and timing chains, with repair bills soaring into the $2,000 to $4,000 range. The root cause? Poor oil flow and weak phaser design that can't withstand long-term engine stress. Despite widespread complaints and online forums flooded with horror stories, Ford never issued a full recall. Critics claim the company silently acknowledged the issue by redesigning the engine later, leaving thousands of loyal customers holding the bill for an engineering failure. The 5.8L V8 might roar on the highway, but under the hood, it's a slow-boiling disaster. And for many unsuspecting owners, that rattling noise wasn't just a warning, it was the beginning of the end. Number 6. The Dodge Ram. The Dodge Ram has long been one of America's best-selling light-duty trucks, hailed for its aggressive styling and raw presence. But if you're considering the 2010 Dodge Ram, especially one equipped with the 3.7-liter V6 engine, proceed with caution. Beneath the badge of a trusted name lies a deeply underwhelming and potentially risky vehicle that disappointed many unsuspecting buyers. On paper, the 3.7L V6 was meant to offer efficiency and affordability for budget-conscious drivers, but in reality, it delivered neither power nor savings. With a mere 215 to 235 brute of torque and around 210 to 2015 horsepower, the base engine felt sluggish and unresponsive under real-world driving conditions. It felt like the truck was gasping for breath going uphill, one frustrated owner reported. Even worse, despite its smaller size, fuel economy was shockingly poor, nearly identical to the V8 version. Yet with the V8, drivers at least had pulling power to justify the gas burn. But it's not just about what the engine lacks, it's what the entire base model leaves out. The entry-level 2010 Ram came stripped of features that were standard in rival trucks at the time. From safety tech to interior quality, it lagged behind. Base trims lacked modern infotainment, proper rear suspension refinement, and even basic creature comforts found in competitive models from Ford or Chevy. The final and most damning flaw? Safety. In an era when crash test scores were becoming critical to consumer trust, the 2010 Dodge Ram earned only a 3-star frontal crash test rating from the NHTSA. For a full-size truck, that was a red flag. In a collision, the cabin structure and restraint systems proved less than adequate, raising serious concerns about passenger protection. Despite its bold exterior and name recognition, the 2010 Dodge Ram V6 was a deeply compromised truck. Weak engine output, inefficient fuel economy, sparse base features, and underwhelming safety results all added up to a vehicle that looked the part, but failed where it mattered most. As one auto reviewer put it bluntly, it's a muscle truck with no muscle and no armor. For anyone considering this model, the real question isn't, can I afford it? It's, can I afford the consequences? Number 5, the Toyota Tundra. Like its smaller sibling, the Toyota Tacoma, the full-size Toyota Tundra wasn't immune to critical flaws, particularly in the 2005 to 2008 model years. While the Tundra was marketed as a rugged alternative to Detroit's heavyweights, buyers soon uncovered troubling defects hiding beneath the surface. At the heart of the issue was the 5.7-liter V8 engine, which, while powerful on paper, came with a soundtrack no one asked for: cold piston slap and loud knocking noises that rattled owners from the first morning start. It sounded like a diesel engine in distress, one driver wrote on a Tundra forum. Cosmetically, things didn't fare much better. The paint quality was poor, prone to fading, chipping, and bubbling, even under normal conditions. Reports of electrical glitches also emerged, including malfunctioning sensors and inconsistent dashboard readings. Then there was the secondary air injection system, a notoriously fragile component that often failed and triggered expensive repairs. Toyota owners found themselves saddled with multi-thousand-dollar repair bills, sometimes just outside warranty windows. Inside the cabin, the truck disappointed further with a bland interior, few customization options, and hard plastics that felt more commercial than premium. For a truck aiming to rival the Big Three, the early Tundra left more to be desired and more to repair. Now, if you know cars too well, which car do you think might be the next? Well, keep watching to find out if you guess well. Number 4, the 2010 Ford F-150. The Ford F-150 might hold the crown as America's best-selling truck, but even legends have skeletons in their garages, and the 2010 model year is one that Ford would probably rather you forget. Marketed as a tough, reliable workhorse, the 2010 F-150 has quietly built a reputation for serious defects that range from mechanical nuisances to bizarre, glass-shattering nightmares. The first red flag is the engine. Under the hood, many 2010 F-150s are equipped with aging V8 powertrains that, after enough mileage, begin to develop loud, ticking, rattling, and violent vibrations. In many cases, these symptoms point to cam phaser failure, a known issue in Ford's modular engines, an expensive fix that often requires deep engine work. It sounded like marbles bouncing in a metal drum, one driver reported before learning their cam phasers had worn out prematurely. But it doesn't stop there. Transmission complaints plague this model year as well. Owners have documented harsh shifting, gear slipping, and complete transmission failure, often at low mileage. Some even experienced the truck lurching forward unexpectedly or refusing to shift into gear at all, dangerous symptoms, especially at highway speeds. Then there's the electrical system, which behaves more like something out of a haunted house than a modern truck. Owners have reported random warning lights, non-functional dash displays, and intermittent loss of power to key systems. In some cases, batteries drained mysteriously overnight, and lights flickered even when the truck was off. But the most chilling and unexplained issue, the rear window glass. Dozens of drivers have reported that the back glass on their 2010 F-150 spontaneously shattered with no external impact. It sounded like a gunshot, one owner wrote, describing how they found the glass scattered throughout the cabin. Ford never issued a recall for the defect, despite the consistent pattern across states and climates. Number 3, the GMC Canyon. When it comes to dangerous pickups hiding behind a polished badge, the GMC Canyon has earned a reputation few trucks dare to rival. For 2 consecutive years, it held one of the lowest reliability scores possible, earning it a notorious place in Consumer Reports' Worst of the Worst list. By 2019, the Canyon's reliability was so poor that experts all but predicted the below-average rating it received. But the real shock lies beneath that poor score. Owners didn't just face minor nuisances, they reported catastrophic mechanical failures. From transmissions that slipped, stalled, or failed entirely, to engines that exploded without warning, the Canyon wasn't just unreliable, it was outright dangerous. More alarmingly, reports surfaced of fuel leaks, defective airbags that failed to deploy, and power assist systems that would randomly stop working, leaving drivers helpless in emergency situations. Braking systems also came under scrutiny, with several drivers experiencing complete brake failure, a terrifying prospect at highway speeds. And those are just the widespread issues. In a market where trust is everything, the GMC Canyon broke more than just down, it broke confidence. It wasn't just a flawed truck, it was a rolling gamble.
Number 2, the 2015 to 2018 Ford Edge.
This set of Ford Edge was marketed as a sleek, modern SUV, fuel-efficient, tech-savvy, and perfect for the average family. But behind the polished exterior of this popular crossover lies a potentially lethal flaw that Ford has been accused of downplaying for years. The culprit? Its 2.0L EcoBoost engine, which has a dangerous tendency to leak coolant into the combustion chamber, leading to overheating, engine misfires, and in many documented cases, spontaneous engine fires. Owners reported smoke erupting from under the hood while driving, engines seizing without warning, and sudden breakdowns in high-speed traffic. The root cause was a manufacturing defect in the engine block casting, allowing coolant to seep into cylinders and degrade engine integrity over time. Despite dozens of complaints to the NHTSA and mounting pressure from lawsuits, Ford never issued a full-scale recall. Instead, they quietly offered service bulletins and selective warranty extensions, leaving many customers with repair bills upwards of $8,000. Now, we've come to the last number on this list, and this particular one will blow your mind. Number 1, the 2014 to 2016 Jeep Cherokee. These particular Jeep Cherokees were Jeep's bold leap into the future, a slick crossover armed with an innovative 9-speed ZF automatic transmission, marketed as the next evolution in performance and fuel economy. But innovation quickly turned into chaos on wheels. What was supposed to be a smooth driving marvel soon developed a dark reputation for unpredictable behavior that left drivers terrified and stranded. Owners across the country reported delayed gear shifts, violent jerks, and even sudden power loss on highways, a terrifying prospect at 70 mph. More disturbing were cases where the Cherokee reportedly shifted out of park on its own, rolling away even on flat surfaces. It felt like the transmission had a mind of its own, one driver wrote, after narrowly avoiding a crash. And if you thought the chaos ended there, think again. After 60,000 miles, things only spiral further. From runaway repairs to transmission meltdowns, this is just one chapter in a growing list of automotive disasters. Stay tuned, because the next breakdown might be sitting quietly in your own driveway. Thanks for watching, and don't miss what's coming next. We'll be back with more before the dust settles. See you in the next video.